No, this isn't a scene from a disaster movie with deserted streets and flooded homes. This is the reality in Florida after Hurricane Milton made landfall.
The death toll is rising from Hurricane Milton. At least 15 people have died in multiple counties in Florida.
Just 2 weeks ago, Florida was already dealing with the destruction from Hurricane Helene, and now the monster storm. Milton is presenting an even bigger challenge for Floridians.
We are surging search and rescue teams to help rescue people who are still stranded but can't communicate because cell phone service is down.
With celebrities like Tom Cruise and Stephen King owning homes in or near the areas that were hit, many are now wondering how Florida's rich and famous are handling the aftermath and recovering from the storm.
It has dropped 50 millibars in 10 hours. I apologize. This is just horrific.
Tom Cruise owns a home near Clearwater, only about 30 minutes from Tampa, while wrestling legend Hulk Hogan also owns property in the area. Stephen King, although more often spotted in Maine, has a place on Florida's west coast in Casey Key.
I know the people, and I think that they are stand-ins for people everywhere.
There's also Dog the Bounty Hunter and John Cena with properties in Tampa Bay.
And I was explaining the house because I was certainly very proud of it. I built it from the ground up.
Oh, and John Travolta? He's up in Ocala with his fancy property that has its own runways for his private jets.
We designed the house for the jets and to have at our access the world at a moment's notice. And that we succeeded at that.
These stars could probably get out of the storm's way and rebuild any damages pretty quickly, but millions of people weren't so lucky. Authorities were urging people to evacuate, warning that staying in the evacuation zones could mean putting their lives at risk. Tampa Mayor Jane Castor was blunt about it.
I can say without any dramatization whatsoever, if you choose to stay in one of those evacuation areas, you're going to die.
Milton has quickly earned the nickname, the storm of the century, with President Joe Biden himself calling it that.
But no one should be confused. It's still expected to be one of the most and worst destructive hurricanes to hit Florida in over a century.
And it's not just the authorities who are worried. People across the state are doing everything they can to help those affected by the hurricanes. Celebrities are stepping up in a big way, and Taylor Swift is leading the charge. Always ready to lend a hand, she's donated an impressive $5 million to help communities rebuild and recover. Her donation will go toward providing food, clean water, and supplies for people who've lost everything. Gotta love how Taylor is always there when people need her the most.
I probably do have that habit. I imagine that I might have that habit, yeah.
But she is not the only one pitching in. Dolly Parton, who has long been dedicated to charity, teamed up with Walmart to bring flood relief to the Appalachian region.
I'm happy that I was in a position to be able to help. I think when you get in a position to help, you should help.
On top of her initial $1 million donation, she matched it with another $1 million from her own businesses, including Dollywood. As she put it, God has been good to me, and so has the public. If there's anything I can do to give back, I'm always willing. Is there anyone more inspiring than Dolly when it comes to helping others?
I love to give. It makes me feel good to be able to help and to help someone else.
Next up, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are stepping in too. They've donated $1 million to Feeding America's Disaster Relief Fund. Their contribution will help food banks provide essentials like water, ready-to-eat meals, and supplies to communities facing devastating loss.
For me, filtering my perspective and my energy through a prism of empathy and service has made my life better.
Heavy metal band Metallica also joined the cause. Through their nonprofit, All Within My Hands Foundation, they donated $50,000 each to World Central Kitchen and Team Rubicon to help with Hurricane Helene's first response efforts. It's so cool seeing rock legends like Metallica doing their part in times of crisis.
It makes total sense to be able to spread the goodness around. We get to meet all kinds of different people, giving back in every place we get to go to. It feels great.
Country star Morgan Wallen has also joined the efforts, and he didn't just stop at donating $500,000 to the American Red Cross. He's also been actively involved on the ground. Wallen has been collecting supplies and volunteering at food drives, helping to raise even more funds for hurricane victims. His foundation is also working with food banks to support those hardest hit in Tennessee and North Carolina. It's awesome to see Morgan getting his hands dirty and going the extra mile to help those in need. Ivanka Trump has also been spotted lending a hand. She traveled to North Carolina with her son Joseph, where they served food and handed out supplies to families displaced by Hurricane Helene. On top of that, she helped deliver 300 Starlink systems from SpaceX, ensuring people stay connected during the recovery efforts. Whether you love her or not, you've got to admire her for stepping in to personally assist these communities. And let's not forget about her father, former President Donald Trump. His fundraiser for Hurricane Helene victims has raised over $2 million, with thousands of donations pouring in. Say what you will about Trump, but he's showing that even after leaving office, he's committed to helping out in tough times.
Yesterday I was in Georgia to survey the terrible damage from the storm. It was terrible.
Oh, and how could we not highlight Tom Brady, who announced a $100,000 donation to relief efforts, which was matched by Give with GoPuff. Brady encouraged everyone to keep those impacted by these storms in your prayers. Look out for your neighbors, and continue to help out any way you're able. Now that's some serious community spirit from the football legend.
We have a great mission. We have a great vision.
So, why are these disasters happening in the first place? Well, experts are saying climate change is a big part of it. It's making storms like Milton stronger and more frequent. Here's how it works. Hurricanes feed off warm water, and the Gulf of Mexico was unusually warm when Milton hit. In fact, the water was almost 2 degrees hotter than normal, which gave the storm all the energy it needed to get even more intense, and really fast.
One thing scientists do have some confidence in, although this is still an area of open research, is that rapid intensification is becoming more common. It matters just because it can really ramp up the threat to coastal communities in a really short amount of time.
But it's not just the wind speeds we need to worry about. Milton is charting an unusual course, something we haven't seen since 1848. The Gulf of Mexico typically doesn't experience storms like this in October, yet here we are with Milton shaking things up.
That these hurricanes now, we've had at least 2 of these hurricanes produce 1 EF3 tornado, which is unheard of, has not happened before.
So, this is serious. We can only hope that evacuations keep everyone safe and that relief efforts truly help those who've lost so much. After all, human life is what truly matters. Everything else can be rebuilt. Please stay safe out there.